Okay, if you're watching this video, that means you were invited into the Fantasy Rumble. This is a game that has been played by members of the suite for over a year. So there's a lot of nuance to it and a lot of things that you might read about that sounds very complicated. It's not complicated because you're going to catch up throughout the Rumble on all the various rules and how it works. There's really only one thing you need to know how to do, and that is how to draft. By draft, I mean you just need to be able to pick your team. Once you pick your team, there's really no action for you to take. So before the Rumble starts, we're going to do a draft, and it's probably going to start pretty soon, and you've got to just know how to pick your team. So in this example, I'm going to be new player Scrooge McDuck. What we have here is you'll need to find the Google Sheet, which is always announced in the fantasy room. Okay, you're going to go up to the top area where you'll see an announcement, and it'll give you the link to this sheet. Send Davey T your email if you haven't already, because he'll need to share that sheet with you in order to allow you to edit and pick your team. But here's what you're going to do. Once you're there, you're going to find this sheet here, which is the draft. On the right-hand side, you're going to see all of the captains' team names. You can create your own team name here. And then at the bottom, you're going to have whoever you are playing in the game. Everybody plays for their own team. Okay? On the left, you'll see there's three groups of players, one in blue, one in white, and one in red. These are our three tiers, labeled up at the top, Hounds of H, DMT, and Warrior Whales. These players are ranked based on their SFC score and their performance in the last Rumble. So we have a smart average to try and figure out who the strongest players are. You're going to pick 6 players. Each team consists of 6 players and also the captain. So on the left, you'll see, in the drop down under your name, you can click this drop down and you can see ranked across all the guilds, all of the players. So you can either select from the drop down or you can start typing in. If I want this number 1 player from tier 3, I can just click in the cell and start typing POTS 1 and I can get it. And then what I'll do is I'll go back into the chat and I'll tag Knox. Once we get through to the end, the last person is going to go again. And then we're going to snake draft. It's going to come back around like this. So as they pick, you'll see up at the top here what's called the tier value. This is the only rule for drafting that you need to understand. We have what's called a tier rule, which means that as you pick, your players have a tier value that's being accumulated right here in this black bar, and you'll see it has to be 12 or higher, meaning you have to pick all 6 of your players from number 2 would equal 12. If you had 3 from tier 1 and then 3 from tier 3, that would be 12. So everybody can't just pick all the players from tier 1. We have to divide it out. So the tier rule is really the only thing you have to understand, and that is that each player is assigned a tier value according to whether they're tier 1, tier 2, or tier 3, and all 6 of those have to equal 12. So hopefully this makes sense to you. And ask me any questions if you're not sure.